My name is Tyoni Williams, and I major in journalism, mass communications, and I'm a junior.
Fantastic. Well, we'll just kind of jump right into the questions. And what does being first generation college student mean to you?
The first generation student means that you have a lot of weight on your shoulders, but equally as much as potential. And I think that it's a beautiful thing for you to be like the first person to break that. I think that my first generation experience here has been great.
What message would you have to other first gen students?
I would say just stick to your gut. I know like back home, a lot of people don't really understand what you're going through as a first generation student. And if you're going through any like struggles or hardships, people back home don't see it that way. They just think you need to push through with school, or you might have responsibilities of uplifting your family, or just overall maybe being like the star of your family, because they're not used to seeing people who have decided to further their education. And I know it could be a lot of pressure to people please. And it's good to want to make your family happy and do what you need to do for everyone around you, but really stick to your gut about what you want to do with your career and how you want to do it. Because at the end of the day, you have to live the life that you choose, and it's not really for anybody else. While you can still be there for them, you have to be there for yourself as well.
Yeah, that's very inspiring. Because there are these pressures, I think, for a lot of our first gen students who I spoke with another student who said, a lot of first gen before thinking about going to college, they think I need to stay home and help my family, or I need to stay home and work with my family to help support my family. And there's a little bit of a sense of, I don't know, like burden, or you're letting them down in a way because you're like, no, I need to go do something for myself. I need to go something to sort of set that next expectation, and that next trajectory in our family. So
yeah, and it's different expectations. Some people unfortunately have the burden of having to like take care of their families. In my experience, I don't necessarily have to worry about like leaving people behind that wouldn't have been taken care of. But since not many people in my family have gone to college, it's like it's like a lot of expectation for me. And then when you need that source of community and like source of help, not everyone understands where you're coming from.
Sure.
Because they can't understand a reality with they've never been in.
yeah.
So they just think you're in school and it shouldn't really be hard.
Sure.
I have anyone to talk to understand.
It's another part of the conversations we've had. You come to K-State, it's overwhelming. I mean, it really is. It's a beautiful place. It's a nice campus, and but I work here, and like I said, I'll walk by a building and say, I have no idea what goes on in that building. Like, I don't know what that is, or and I think that especially for our students who don't have parents who are alumni or weren't in a college university before, just knowing what exactly to suspect or what to expect, and the preparation for that can definitely be overwhelming. So when you think about your parents and your family, is there a message that you would want to pass on to them, just kind of about being a first gen, and just something you'd want to say to them?
Well, I would just like to pass on the message that it is I know it's very like a beautiful thing to see your child or your family member excel in life, and just to be supportive and just be understanding of them, even if you cannot quite put yourself into their shoes. And although they are super great, because if you are fresh and you are great, do not put them on a crazy pedestal to where you put too much expectation on them, because although they are a star, it might be a little too much to have them that high up when they are human. And to my family, thank you for being there for me, especially my mom. Shout out to my mom.
And I'm sure, I'm speaking, don't want to speak for your family, but I'm sure that they're extremely proud of you and the path that you're on, and the trajectory that you're headed for. So Is there any things at K-State or ideas that you would have for K-State as regarding first-gen students, and how to support them, or anything regarding that topic?
Well, the things that I've experienced as far as where I am now have been pretty great. It's nice to know that there are resources, even if you're not in a place yet where you feel like you're comfortable accepting the resources. I think just reaching out, seeing emails, seeing events, seeing different things. Because like personally for me, when I first started, I kind of didn't want to put myself out there. So if I saw events or emails, I wouldn't really go to anything or reach out to anything because it was just like weird. I was in a new environment. But just to continually like see them and then know that they're there. And then eventually once you break out of your shell, you're gonna reply to one email, maybe go to one event.
Yeah.
And then from there, you're like in the loop. And it's just great to see that, people actually care, or like even making it like a little less formal, even like with text messages. I know there was an opportunity where I was kind of late or behind on something, and like Rebecca passed, she just called me. Like she called me. And then you don't expect that. Like you think everything has to be so formal and like weird, but she just called me and then sent me a text. It made it like a lot better to like go through with the process of what I was going through.
Shout out to Rebecca Pass. Yeah. She's doing great things. And I'm so glad that we have that first gen office and center to where students have that connection, because you may be first gen, but of course, like that's not like just your identity. You have multiple identities that in your life and throughout campus that you want to be a part of. But so, like you said, with finding different groups and things, I've heard that it's like you come here and you're like, well, I kind of just need to focus and dip my toe in things, and then what I've noticed and what I feel like is that then once you do kind of get out there and reach out and make connections, it's just like this energy that happens, So, my last question is just basically, is there anything else that you want to add or share with our listeners out there?
I would just say, try your best to strive within yourself and your goals and your path, and don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it, and just keep working. Don't let yourself get overwhelmed or by whatever your circumstances may be. And as a first gen, I know there's high expectations, so just really try to stay rooted within yourself and not let too much of the outside get into your safe haven or your bubble and your peace of mind. Just really focus on yourself and what you need as a student to get your academics great, and also your own personal and mental health and everything like that. Just finding a balance.
Fantastic message. Well, I thank you. I know you're a busy person, so thank you for taking the time to share your message today.